Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the Instant Reactions. This is a new series, kind of. We're just joking about that being a new series, but we got a new one. 2025 Screamboat. I'm excited to hear Dustin give his general thoughts. Go ahead. Floor is all yours.
This is my last instant reaction ever. I can't do it anymore. Um, the old me. I'm a different person. I'm sure our listeners have noticed. My humor, my antics have toned down a lot. I'm much more reserved. I haven't been cussing on the show or in life. I haven't cussed in months, but so I'm gonna stay calm during this and just say that a stomach virus has more redeeming qualities than this movie. Um, I enjoy the Pooniverse, right? Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 and 2, and the Peter Pan, Neverland Nightmare. Those movies are fine. Like they're bad, but they have a charm to them. There's quality to them. Like I think the story they're well written, and you can take it as I can watch those tongue in cheek and just watch them for what they are and appreciate them. This movie I couldn't even do that. Um, I got a laundry list of cons when we get to it, so I'll save them for when we do that. But I was not a fan. I texted the group chat 20 minutes into the movie. I don't usually text during movies, but um, there was no one sitting around me. I'm very respectful of my fellow theater goers, but I texted 20 minutes in. I said, I'm 20 minutes in. I think this is the worst movie I've ever seen. After watching it and sitting on it for a little bit, I think it is the worst movie I've ever seen. It's up there with All Hallows Eve, the Terrifier the movie that preceded the Terrifier franchise. That movie was bad, and I think Rubber is up there. I used to say WrestleManiac and No Holds Barred are up there, but I think they're just a slight smidge above the rest of these movies. And when I say a movie is the worst movie I've ever seen, I don't mean like, oh, that was just wasn't a good story or that. I mean, literally everything about this movie was just poor quality. So I'll get into it more in the cons, but yeah, it's not good. Go ahead.
Even worse than Human Centipede.
See, Human Centipede, from a quality standpoint, it's a fine movie. Fine movie.
Yeah.
But from a content standpoint and the way it made me feel, that's a terrible movie. But Human Centipede looks like The Shawshank Redemption compared to this movie. So
Shawshank. Shawshank is a good movie.
Or Good Will Hunting or Casablanca. Human Centipede looks like a classic compared to this movie is what I'm getting at.
I'm not gonna lie. About 20 minutes into my viewing, because I saw it at 7 and you saw it at 7:40, so I had a head start on you. I was like 20 minutes into it. I was like, Dustin's gonna hate this. Yeah, like I knew it already.
I wouldn't have listened to you, but I wish you would have texted me and be like, brother, don't. Because I wouldn't listen to you, but I would have been like, at least he gave me a warning. But no, you selfish son of a gun. You let me suffer through it.
Well, I try not to text during the movies either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I try and be good about it. But all right, so I don't think the movie's good either. But I don't know, man. Like, I totally agree with you about the Winnie the Pooh stuff, especially Blood and Honey 2 and Peter Pan. Like, I think those are on a much higher level. But the first Winnie the Pooh's not good.
It's
like,
not.
But I still gave like a 5 because it was like novelty, and I don't know. Going into this, I had very low expectations from the get go. I would only give it like a 3.5 out of 10 if we rated it. I'm just being honest. But I mean, yeah, for you, that's that high. I get it. Don't get me wrong. That's still a bad rating, though. I'd probably give it like a 3.5. I mean, I just enjoyed the kills. I thought the movie looked decent. Like, I don't think it was shot bad. Like, I don't think it was shot terribly. Like, I'm not going to deny that the acting wasn't good for the most part. I thought there were some that were decent. I mean, if you compare, like to me, the first Winnie the Pooh had some of the most reprehensible acting I've ever seen.
It was
in a Violent Nature, it had pretty bad acting.
It did.
But it looked good. Yeah. Kills were good. I thought the effects looked good in this movie as well. I'll just do my pros. I don't know. It fell into like a little bit of a guilty pleasure. Like, I know it's not good, but I could turn it on. The movie's too long. Like, we'll get into the cons. I think all of those Terrifier, Fuzz and the Lens Productions, like they need another editor, like because they need to trim these movies up. They're too long. But I don't know. I admit it wasn't good, but like I didn't sit there watching it thinking like, oh, this is the most god awful movie I've ever seen either. But this is a subject I want to touch on with you after we give our general thoughts as well and pros and cons. There's something that I was thinking about leaving the theater for all of us on this show as a whole that we haven't tapped into enough. That's just my general. Do you have any pros, Dustin? If
It's
not, you
original. It's original. I will credit them for that. I think that it's a creative way to use existing characters and tell your own story. I mean it sincerely. I commend the writer. It was the same guy that wrote, directed, and produced. I'm going to give him a shout out. Stephen Lamort. Lamort. Shout out to him, man, because I've been writing screenplays, scripts myself recently, past couple years. It's challenging. It's frustrating at times, but completing it is super satisfying. I haven't had one made, obviously. He's done that. So shout out to him for pursuing a dream and making it happen and putting a unique tale and a unique twist on beloved characters. Shout out to that. That's the only pro.
I thought the animation scenes looked pretty good too.
Oh, they did. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's a good point as well. The animation, the flip book style, the old Steamboat Willie look, and even the Walt Disney looked like Walt Disney. Like, yeah, okay, the animation did look good.
All right, just go ahead and give me your cons. I know you're ready. I mean, I didn't have a lot of pros. It's just,
all right, it's way too long. Way too long. Mike complains that Friday the 13th Part 8, the whole movie takes place on a boat. This movie, literally, the whole movie takes place on a boat, and it makes Friday 8 feel like a walk in the park, like a breeze. It was way too long. And as far as the way it looks, I think it had some of the worst CG I've ever seen. Like the fire looked awful. Every screen that was a green screen, you could tell was a green screen. Or every scene that was a green screen. I'm not saying that every scene was. I thought there was there's way too many Disney references forced in. Take me to the Met. Okay, I'm gonna get into some mild spoilers, but if you read the synopsis, you know what the movie's about. There's no spoilers really, but
yeah, there's.
Take me to the Magic Kingdom. It's a small world after all. We're all a little mad here. Way too many Disney quotes, just trying to be funny. It wasn't. None of the humor worked for me. I thought the birthday party girls were. I know they were supposed to be over the top, but they were so over the top. They drove me up a wall. I know they were supposed to. There was little things like Buddy that's dressed like the Statue of Liberty puts his key in the bag of cocaine vertically, pulls it out vertically, and then sticks it to his nose. If you're wanting to portray a drug scene, like you don't have to show him put it to his nose if you don't want him to actually snort anything. But like logically, that was stupid. The girls go to the concession stand and get a bunch of cups for them to pour liquor. They didn't pour a single drop of that, and they still took shots. It's like little things like that. I thought man, there's so many. There was a random cop that showed up, the one that got set on fire. We hadn't seen him all movie. Makes me think they deleted a scene that he was in, and we're supposed to recognize him. But instead, I'm like, wait, there's more. How many more people are on this boat that we don't know about because we hadn't seen him? And then all of a sudden, he knows what's going on. So he's been there. He's been present. And then he gets torched. The boat at the end was not moving. Like the city in the background wasn't getting closer or further away. So how long had they just been sitting there? Why were they just sitting there? The other boat, the rescue boat, waves. You know how close you'd have to be to see someone wave in the dark,
in the fog.
In the fog. So why did it take them so long to get there? And it was daylight by the time that boat got there. Okay, that was stupid. Little boy got thrown over the edge of the ferry at the end. He should have died. That's the Hudson, dude. That's the Hudson River. That's nasty. He would have died just from that nasty water. And did you see how clear that water was? Not buying that.
Yeah, it looked like a pool. Like it very obviously looked like a pool.
The underwater scene when Willie had the guy hanging by his ankles, I thought looked a lot of like the underwater scenes themselves. There's multiple ones look bad. I don't like that the girl in the open, the maintenance worker, whatever she was, like all of a sudden she's helping Willie. Why? So you got mind control now? Is this Charles Manson mouse? I don't know. I just didn't enjoy any of it. I think there were so many flaws. Like the acting was bad, the writing was bad as far as the dialogue. I think the editing was bad. The directing was bad as far as how scenes were shot and um, how story how the story progressed and how the story got from one point to the next. I just didn't think it was good. There's so many lines that are like how dads in the 50s talk. Like, oh, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Well, if that don't make me a real New Yorker, nothing will. Like, no one talks like that. So that's what I meant by the dialogue's bad. It's just, there's a lot more negatives. That's the main ones, though, I guess.
Did you like any of the kills?
They were creative. I thought the choppy PP scene was over the top. But
one kill got me fired up though.
One of the kills pissed me off when she shuts the door and she thinks she's safe, so she puts her back to the door and gets harpooned through the door. That pissed me off.
That was dumb.
Which kill got you fired up?
Certified forklift operator.
Oh yeah. Well, see that's good, but at the same time, no one's that stupid. Like those girls were so stupid. Show me how to make the face, and then they're making the face as the forklift just drives directly towards them and impales their mouths. Nope. Yeah. I mean, I thought the effects looked pretty good because I guarantee this movie didn't have much of a budget at all. So for what they had, I thought they were pretty good. Like the stabs, the close-ups we got of the gore, the Lady Liberty flame that went through the back of the head.
It looked like a real dick that fell on that guy.
Yeah, I know. I know you were looking intently at that, but
it was on the big screen. Give me a break.
Yeah, and like the guy. So that scene though, the guy when he drops it on the other guy, you're telling me that guy is going to be laying. No one would lay there and be like, "Hand me a Phillips head," and he hands him a flathead. No, I said a Phillips head. Then he hands him a pipe wrench, and like he's just going to sit there and not look. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
anyone. And then when
and he's not replying to anything either.
Yeah, and when it drops on his mouth and it just lays there, he lays there for way too long. I would have been, get that off of me. And then he looks up and sees Willie standing above him and just lays there and lets the TV fall on him. It's just every character decision was bad as well. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and I mean with the writing, I mean you just never know. The thing I think I have a little bit of soft spot for this just because I listened to Michael Levy. He's friend of the show. He was one of the producers of the movie. On Scout and Danielle's podcast, Talk Scary to Me. I think you would enjoy his interview if you just wanted to listen to that. He really gets into like getting, movies made, how to get movies into the theater, how to get, merch and all that available. I think you would enjoy that. But, he spoke on, the difficulties of just making movies nowadays. It's really hard to get funding if you're not, a franchise, if you're independent. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about when I was leaving the theater. I was thinking, I don't know how to rate this movie because fundamentally it was bad. Mm-hmm. But I mean, this movie probably had a tiny budget. Like, it's really not fair to me to compare it to something like Hereditary. Like, come on.
It is to me because
I wanted to ask you about, like, horror has a really dedicated fan base to B, C, D level schlocky horror movies, low budget, bad acting, just stuff like that. Like, is it fair to rate those kind of movies the same as the big blockbusters?
For me, yeah, because the primary issues with this movie had nothing to do with budgetary issues. It was the writing. Point blank. I mean, you can write a good story and shoot it for peanuts. We've seen tons of movies that have next to nothing budgets that make the most of what they're given. This movie just wasn't written well. So I absolutely think that movies like this have their place. Yeah. I'm not saying that this movie shouldn't have been made because that would be hypocritical of me. I want to have a movie made one day But also more than that, I'm preaching every week about how I'm tired of, you know, another Halloween movie. I'm tired of another Insidious movie. I'm tired of another Saw movie. Give me something original. This movie has its place.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it got a theatrical release. I think a 2-day midweek theatrical release is perfect for this. So it's just, I would just want it to be better
Mm-hmm.
from a writing standpoint, not from a technical standpoint. I could forgive the bad CG, honestly could. I could forgive a lot of this movie if it was just written better. I could even forgive a lot of the acting if the acting was bad, but the dialogues, if I just think about the dialogue and like, okay, how would that be if Florence Pugh said that line? If I can picture that, it's like, okay, that's not a bad line, then I can forgive it. But these lines were bad. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just the actors. So that's my issue with it. So that's why I have no issue giving this movie the score that I'm going to give it.
No, and I don't disagree with you because I know we talked about like Jason Takes Manhattan. It's like the director, has been on air or on the record talking about how bad some things were, but it's like it's the writer's fault. Like you chose to
Mm-hmm.
do that, and I know he mentioned that. I remember one time specifically on the series when we talked about 1984 American Horror Story. They
Mm-hmm.
kept showing like the cut to the guts and like the CGI
Yeah.
entrails look terrible. It's like you don't have to do that. So it's like you can make choices to where you don't have bad CGI. You don't have to write cringy dialogue. I mean, I'm with you on that.
So some of that could be studio pressure. Like FX might have wanted more gore. So they may have forced the hand, like show us, and then the director may have said, or writer might have said, no, we don't have the budget to make it look good. But the studio's like, no, we need it. Put it in. But with an independent movie like this, they seem to have free reign. Like movies like this under this, what was the fuzzy lens?
Fuzz on the Lens
Fuzz on
Productions.
the lens. They seem to just be like, okay, whatever you want to put out, we're good with, just do it. So then that's a decision. I could be wrong about that. That's just how I feel it probably is.
No, I really appreciated your answer because I was thinking about that. It's just something I feel like we haven't done enough on our pod, like covering like the B C level horror movies. I mean, I
Yeah.
know, and
Well,
because like we follow like some guys on TikTok, like Welcome to Creepy Camp and Ian Van Gool, like they're really cool guys, and they review everything, whether it's like 500 deep on Tubi or it's the new release. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I feel like that's something we do need to do, like as a podcast as well. Tap into
Hey,
those kind of movies as well.
I dipped my toe in the water by picking A24 for like 3 months straight, but I'll go deeper in my bag if you want me to. But no, and
I'm
I
talking
want to
about
say
like credit card movies.
no. I hear you. Um, but no, I want to say something else about the about a movie needs to have a good story, be well written. I can also enjoy movies that aren't. There's been plenty of movies that I've been high on that we've reviewed that I'm sure the rest of you three are like, why do you like Ghost of Mars? That's a guilty pleasure movie of mine. I've said why it's a guilty pleasure. Like I watched it in 8th grade and it just kind of nostalgic, I guess. But I can understand that's a bad movie. But I think that movie is much better written and acted than this movie. So if you're going to be cheesy and over the top and bad, it needs to be enjoyable. So this one just missed for me. I don't want to make it sound. I'm trying not to be a hypocrite, but also make sense.
But I don't feel like anything you said has been extra. Like I don't feel like you've just hated. I feel like it's all valid criticisms. Like because a writer, a director, a production company, they can go back to the drawing board and say, yeah, this line is kind of cringy. Maybe we
Yeah.
should change that. This CGI doesn't look that good. Let's just do that off screen. And you might get criticized for being off screen, but I might would rather see something off screen than something that looks terrible.
That, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm not like I said, I'm not a published writer. I mean, I've wrote for Sports Illustrated. That's pretty cool. But I'm not I haven't made movies. But anytime that I'm writing dialogue, I think about what I want to say and then be like, okay, how would I say that? How
Mm-hmm.
would my friends say that? I feel like sometimes writers, movies don't do that. They just like, how would an English book say this? And they write it. Or how would, how's the most cliche way to get this sentence out? And they put it in the movie because I guess it has a familiarity to it. but just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's good.
No, for sure. That's why I don't really care for Eli Ross movies. I think the dialogue is
Yeah,
terrible, and he has good
absolutely.
production values. Just the dialogue is just awful.
Mhm.
I would recommend listeners to go check out Screamboat just to support cinema, support independent
Yep.
horror. I'm not telling you to go in with really high expectations because in a matter of 20 minutes, I watched the IMDb rating go from a 3 down to a 2.9 as more and more reviews come in. It's like watching the election night, with all the votes tallying in. It's bad. Like, it's not getting good love. But Dustin, you got any final thoughts? I don't think we got to talk too long about Screamboat and Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie.
No, I had it pulled up on Letterboxd and I was looking, and there hasn't been enough ratings tally to give us a composite score the way the app does. But you can like hold down on each bar, and it'll tell you how many people voted that score. Half a star is obviously the lowest you can go on Letterboxd. It has the most right now. 89 people have said half a star. Um, 67 people said 1 star, and then it kind of trickles down until you get to 5 stars. 22 people gave it 5 stars. I told you off air that must be the 22 people in the movie because there's no way. But
Yeah.
I agree with you. Go, if you have nothing else to do, if there's nothing else playing that you might want to see, go see it. Support cinema and support independent cinema always. But otherwise, maybe wait for it to be on streaming, and maybe you'll love it. I know there's people out there that disagree with every take I have, so I'm sure there's people that love this movie. It's just not me.
And I know Dustin's going to cringe at this, but if you're a Terrifier fan, go support it. Because it's got David Howard Thornton. It's got Kaylee Hyman. She was Brooke in 2 and 3. It's got a few Terrifier actors. So, I mean, if you're a fan of them, go check it. It's got Tyler Posey. He's a big name. He was in Teen Wolf and that 2018 horror movie.
Jesse Posey, right?
No, Tyler Posey's in it as well. He was. You probably left. There was a after credit scene. Yeah,
I'll stand for that.
I'm sure as soon as it was over, you was splitting.
Yeah. Actually, I stood up, and then there was the final scene where Willie's laying in the trash pile. Like, I thought the movie was over, and then it kept going. I was like, "You got to be kidding me! It's still going." But I went in this movie despite Fuzz on the Lens being, the Terrifier people, and despite David Howard Thornton being Art the Clown, I still went into it with an open mind. Like, this isn't Terrifier. It doesn't have the same writer director. It's just the same production company, same villain, same bad guy. So I was like, I like the Pooniverse movies. We'll see. Yeah, wasn't for me.
No, I feel you. I mean, maybe Fuzz on the Lens needs their Scott Chambers. You know what I'm saying? They might need that guy.
Let me tell you, shout out to Scott Chambers. I think that a lot of studios could benefit from having a Scott Chambers.
Dude,
I'm a
Scott,
big fan.
Yeah, me too. And he's going to get his big break one day.
I agree. We're rooting for him.
Like he's gonna, like, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but he's going to escape the Pooniverse and do something big.
I do too. I think so as well. And
he's talented. He's a good actor too.
Yeah, he is. He wowed me, and he's a super nice guy.
I'm actually excited to cover Peter Pan on the show.
Me too. That movie was so dark.
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, it had some writing issues as well that me and you touched on, but that's a good movie.
Yep.
But anywho, Screamboat. I mean, it's Screamboat. Like, it's Steamboat Willie horror movie. Like, what? Like, don't go in with high expectations. But anywho, we appreciate y'all tuning in, supporting us, supporting cinema, and we'll be back probably next week for Hell of a Summer.
Yep, I'll be there.
And Sinners will be out pretty soon.
Sinners.
I have no idea what that movie is going to... Like, what is that movie about? Is it a vampire movie?
Yeah.
I'm going in with low expectations. Not that I think it's going to be bad, but I'm just not a vampire guy.
No,
but we'll see.
It's Ryan Coogler. It's Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, yep.
Yeah. We might do Drop as well. Are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm in there for Drop. That's
the
11th, isn't it?
That's this upcoming Friday. Yeah, a week from Friday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm in there. I want to see that one bad, actually. But we got several instant reactions on the way. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all have a good one.